I'm Cooney, the Art Sherpa, and today I want to show you how to paint these really cool steampunk light bulbs called Eureka in a bokeh background. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hey guys.
And I'm going to wait to see if anyone can see us this time.
Yes.
Can y'all see us? So we've had a really intense journey getting out live today. Sometimes they update software on our equipment's end,
and then things go weird.
Not a YouTube problem.
Nope.
Because, that's super fixable usually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sippy. So if you want to learn how to paint and you're a first-time painter, this is this great thing. We do these classes live. They're available for replay. They move along at a pretty quick pace. It's a little faster than you might expect at a painting party. But the good news is that there's a pause button. So whenever you need me to chill out and slow down, you have the power. Now I'm singing the Power Ranger song in my head. Because you have the power. So you say, go faster, go slower, do what you need to do. Earlier I said hi to Justice, who was their first stream. Hopefully they're still here with this because we always lose a few. We lost so much likes and loves, but thank you for the likes and loves. I did see them before we got started, so it was in my heart. It's in my heart. All the likes go in my heart.
I think we got everybody back. We got over 230, 240, 250. There's just
that
people
is amazing.
Just piling in the room. So
thank you.
Everybody's found us again. Thank you guys for coming to join us. We've got a pretty exciting show for today.
We do. This is Eureka. This is the beginning. There's a couple things I've been asked for a lot from last year, and we're going to start moving into them. A lot of people have asked for steampunk. It's a kind of complicated conversation in art steampunk. So we're going to start with some really accessible projects and then move on to some 3-hoot projects. So if you're very new here, we have different levels of painting. We start with really entry-level stuff, and then we move up to slightly more challenging things as we're ready together. So we're going to be doing this. Yes, there's a traceable and a no-draw option. This is done on an 11 by 14 canvas board. I am liking canvas board lately, mostly because y'all paint so much. Yeah. And we all have some I have some storage problems. Do you guys have some storage problems? We're doing so many paintings that these are easy to get, accessible, ready to paint. You don't need to do another thing to it. I've got some wishes on here because we love to start our art journey with a little positive intention in the world. Mm-hmm. Lord knows we all need it. I guess I should have started with, and the broadcast goes great. So we have, right now there's a wish for safety for some children around Chelly. She's just really wishing that they are safe and sound. Linda is wishing for energy and motivation. And I really wish that for you. That's something I think that we all, especially in the modern age, really struggle with, isn't it? Just finding energy, finding motivation, trying to keep our attention on the things that help us move forward. Chrissy is looking for relief from pain, and I have to tell you, that wish is echoed and echoed and echoed again. I wish that our medical community would come up with a better system for pain management for people, personally. Kelly is having family, and she's just looking for healing and surgery, and Deborah is wishing the world would embrace a little love and compassion. And to that end, I challenge you when you're out in the world on your social media to like up and comment just on the positive posts, just on those people who've made an intention today to put something a little more optimistic out into the world. It's not that we don't all have in our lives and in our lives. We all do. Mm-hmm. Everybody does. But you'll notice that some people will just say, but even though I'm having this aggravating moment with my neighbor, I'm going to put this fuzzy little puppy who's licking this face up on the feed. And I say we like that person today. Like all the positivity, the cute koalas, the little baby owls bathing, all of that. And Heather is looking for healing for her husband. He's going through some stuff, and she's ready for him to be back playing with the 3-year-old. What do we got in live today?
So we have a wish for good blood pressure readings.
Oh, yeah.
At the obstetrician.
Good blood pressure.
And that's for Dom. And then...
Oh, yes. Definitely wish that for Dom.
Michelle had a wish for a good and smooth move and with their new employer.
Oh, a happy, good, smooth move.
Yes.
Happy, good, smooth move. All right. And?
I'm just scrolling back up. There's so many.
And if you guys ever want to see one of these wishes on canvas, you just go by our website, TheArtSherpa.com, and there is a wishes form, and you just put your wish in there. And then we can put them on the canvas.
Please catch it.
I'm using a kind of a pencil that will, you can see as it will blend into, and I'm picking a color that will disappear into my paint.
And we really need it. Gail had sent positive energy for us on our stream.
Thank you, Gail.
And Miss Spooty had sent some love for the charter bus coming back from Chicago and all the goodness.
I'm
for
going to
them.
send some love to where my daughter is right now.
Oh yeah, they're at the Girls' Day Out at UT for the STEM engineering camp.
Yeah, my daughter really likes engineering and robotics, and I'm really proud of her for embracing her love of math and technical subjects and architecture and those things. I think it's really cool, and I love this program that is getting girls to be a little more exploratory in their possible futures, because women make awesome engineers and technicians.
And if you guys are new here with us, don't forget to go out to TheArtSherpa.com, join up there. We have live chat going on there. You can find links to all the stuff, like show them off your mug there, Cinnamon.
Oh, that's right. You could have this mug.
You just happened to be using that one today. That's
I like it's been that kind of a day. This is a painting you can do, but this is also a mug you can drink out of when you got to remember, sometimes you got to go into the woods.
Yeah. So you can go to shop.theartsherpa.com, find out all of our cool swag and stuff. But don't forget to share your paintings with us. The most important thing, please,
share your paintings.
Yeah, go out to theartsherpa.com and make sure you share up those paintings. So
just everywhere, all over the media. Get all the people painting. We're all so much better when painting. I got a little jar of water here.
Tell us about our materials.
And I have the 1-inch stiff white nylon brush. This is always in the description. These brushes are in the description. There's even a coupon code to get them less expensively.
Oh yeah, for the brush guys. We'll tell
you
about
that later.
Guys. We'll do more.
So I have Mars Black here. I have Phthalo Blue. I have Burnt Sienna. I have Cad Yellow Medium. I have Yellow Ochre. I have Cad Red. You could do light or medium on this project. I really like this product. I have acrylic glazing liquid. Makes me very happy. You can get it in all kinds of places. I have little pouncers. See my little pouncers? And this is at the size that I'm going to be in the relationship. This is a 1-inch brush. Gives you a size of a little round pouncer. I'm going to show you, John's going to remind me to show you some tips to be more successful at that.
Yeah, so if we have some pouncer boo-boos.
So this is my nice 1-inch stiff white nylon. You could do another brush. What you're looking for is something square, a bright, a flat that's about this wide with a synthetic filament, right? I'm going to do what's called priming. I'm going to get a little warmed up here with just a little water, and I'm going to drag that water off because I don't want a ton of water in my brush. I'm going to actually make my glazing medium work for me. And I'm going to take my burnt sienna, kind of dusting in here. You can see I've dusted that on the brush, over to my phthalo blue, and I'm dusting it in. And it's weird, they make this sort of incredible blue-green, this deep turquoise. Get some glazing bead on there. See that bead? And watch me work it over here. I'm going to just go back and forth. And this is going to give me this blended background. The glazing, this is a glazing medium and a retarder, so it slows down the drying time of my paint. And this is going to let me have more time, longer workability, which sometimes in acrylic is a little stressful. This particular time I'm going to get more blue, right, and come over here with more blue. See how I'm going more blue? On the outer edges of this, right, I'm going to have a darker color, and then in the center I'm going to let it go a little lighter. And the reason for that is to also imply the bokeh effect. A lot of people think the bokeh effect? You're so funny.
Bokeh? John
has so many.
Oh man, that camera's just gone all out of whack. Hold on a second. The camera said, "You're not." I'm gonna say, "Look at that! Look at that." I'm blending anyway. Manual focus, please.
So I'm just offloading. You can see this brush is just doing the work for me. Coming over to the palette cam.
Just freaked out. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Dusting up a little more of my burnt sienna on here. So what you're really looking at on bokeh, either way.
Bokeh. Bokeh is what you get from a wine glass.
That's right. Bokeh is what you get from a damaged lens.
Bokeh or bokeh. Yeah, bokeh. Yeah,
so this is about focus. This is about something being out of focus.
That's right.
And then the little dots or hearts or different shapes that we think of traditionally with this are actually a filter that's applied after. I'm going to show you both things. So we're getting this blended, blurry background first.
Yeah, the shape of the bokeh is actually, or the shape of the bokeh is actually due to the shape of the lens and the iris inside the lens.
And now there's specialty filters that give you hearts and things.
And that's what they're doing, is they're trying to say that you have a heart-shaped iris inside your camera that are making those
beautiful little heart shapes in your lights. To make it work, though, we're going to really talk about how to keep this from looking like polka dots. I get that question like a lot. Like my bokeh feels like polka dots. And I get asked and asked and asked that, and we're going to talk about how to be really successful with these pouncers and with our brushes, whatever we're doing.
Now,
but the first thing is to make sure that our outer edges are just a little deeper
there's a question
in value than the inside of our circle here.
Why do you have double plops of blue and burnt sienna? Question: Were there double plops of blue and burnt sienna? I guess was the question.
No.
So no. So you want to go over those colors just again so that they know what those are?
Burnt sienna, phthalo blue, Mars black, titanium white, cad yellow medium, yellow ochre, cad red. You can use medium or light.
And the brown's just a little bit there under the
yeah,
picture
I think yeah, it's just the burnt. Let me do this because this all moved on me.
Perfect.
There we go. So you can see that. So burnt and blue.
Okay.
Right now you could. I have this in the description, or hopefully still have this in the description because we had some difficulty getting here. You could use Prussian blue if you can't get it, or listen. I will do a spoiler in a video we're trying with all of our might to release. You could use Windsor blue if you can't get phthalo blue where you're at.
Yeah.
Because Windsor blue is phthalo blue. Spoiler! So see how I'm just using this to blend this out?
Yeah.
And it's letting me do this sort of soft. And then as I'm going around, you can see how it softens. This is a lot. The glazing is helping me here. Just tipping this up. And now I'm going to get into some nice glazing on there. And we're going to just glaze it on out. Now,
you got these a very streakiness behind it.
Yeah, and you want the streakiness for this because this is what helps give you that blend. If you want to, you can do 2 layers, but that will really deepen the color because you'll be glaze painting then, won't you?
Would you like to know an interesting fact about this painting, Cinnamon?
I would love to know an interesting fact about the painting.
There are 400 people watching this painting.
I think we better put on a jam and do a happy dance and Sherpa out.
Yeah?
I think we got a We Are Sherpa.
I think we have definitely done our Sherpa-ness here. So I have to say, thank you guys.
Almost sippy too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing this Saturday? Not my laundry.
So thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. It makes it so much nicer to have you guys here. I'm going to come give Cinnamon a big hug and a kiss just to celebrate you guys are here. And if you're at home and you can't get up and dance, don't forget to wiggle your fingers.
I promise all of you
and
that
wiggle your
today
toes.
I will only art. I will not wash one single sock. Not one. In this house. You'll wash the sock. No. No. You will not wash the sock either.
Socks shall be washed.
Sorry. I'm not doing
thanks, you guys.
any of my housework today. I am just painting with all of you. I don't have a singing show for a reason.
Right.
My friend Jenny Chan over at Origami, she could have a
could
singing
sing.
show.
We could sing.
My
It would be one of those
friend,
we're in
Tanya, she could have a singing show. Mark could have a singing show. Mona could definitely have a singing show. I cannot have a singing show.
Emily would like to know, is polyethylene green? Oh my gosh, I could say that.
Is polyethylene...
Is that the same as phthalo green?
Yes. Polyethylene blue and polyethylene green are the same as phthalo. Because it's like diox purple. It's really dioxazine, but nobody wants to say dioxazine. So see how I'm just getting this nice blend in the background. Join it so much. Just, you want it more blue, put some more blue in it. It doesn't hurt because where you do these blends, if you did the butterfly with me, you're kind of familiar with this. It just gives you more of that bokeh effect.
Now, you're just making this nice and streaky here because you're implying a kind of background. Is that how it works?
Yeah, this is a blurry, fuzzy background. And I'm able to get this blur. I'm not fighting for my blur because I have this nice stiff brush. Mm-hmm. This isn't pricey.
Now, I noticed that the paint's not worked very much up on that at all. You just got it on the very tips there.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you only keep the
paint
tips?
To the degree that you can keep your paint out of the metal bit here, which is called the ferrule, you will increase the lifetime of your brush. And as you move into better and better brushes, you may find I spent a nice amount of money on this brush, and I want it to last a while, and acrylic paint is so hard on them, so that if you can keep it out of there, it helps.
Now, I guess it also...
there's just no point in having it way up high.
Don't you you waste a lot of paint when it's all...
It's a paint waste problem. It's a control problem, So to the degree, don't like be hard on yourself if you're doing that. If you're getting the paint all up all over everything, don't be hard. Just be like, okay, I'm gonna wipe that off with a towel and rinse everything off. And give it a go yet. See, I'm dusting in a little blue. You can kind of see.
Speaking of Mona, Mona's around. I think
Hi,
we just
Mona.
saw her.
Mona can sing.
Yeah. Now, will gloss medium work? For
yes.
You could substitute.
I wouldn't substitute it, but if it's all you have, don't not. What gloss medium will do is it'll allow you to do some of these glazes. It's just going to dry very fast on you, so it won't give you blending time.
Gotcha.
But it'll give you some glazing.
A little bit there, yeah.
Yeah. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. And I'm just making sure these outer edges here, see I'm working them?
Working the edges.
Working the edges are a little darker than the center. Kind of like what we did with our beer.
Oh, they would like to know where they can get a deck of the art game cards.
Where they can, that is at TheArtSherpa.com.
Yeah, if you go to shop.TheArtSherpa.com, you can find our cards and our mugs and our hats and our T-shirts and all that kind of fun stuff out there.
And more stuff.
And more stuff coming. So
more stuff is coming.
More and more and more.
Just live the Sherpa life, which is the life where you don't do laundry and you paint. It's totally an official thing now. I've decided. Also, I think housework's very dangerous. My mom got really injured doing housework once. She made the bed and broke her arm once.
That's true.
So I just don't do that anymore. It's right up there with don't swim with sharks. Don't make the bed.
Yeah.
If you have children, you've been trying to get to clean your room, I'm really sorry. I know it'll be used against you. All right, so now that I have a nice background that I'm really loving the blend in, and it feels very atmospheric, I'm going to make sure I rinse this out. Especially in your bigger brushes, be sure and clean them out right away. And put them aside and rest them flat to dry. Flat. Dry your brushes flat. Now this, I want to be perfectly dry when I go to put on my little dots. And we're going to talk a little bit about our little dots, which are our little effect. So just real quick while I'm letting this dry, because what the dots are is they're not just polka dots. They are a light reflected through the lens. And so what you have to imagine is so these are light bulbs in front of a screen door looking out into a neighborhood. The lights are probably going to be in a kind of U shape here at the bottom. They wouldn't be up here in the sky.
Well, if you had aliens,
unless maybe there was like a water tower right here with a bunch of lights on, and then you could, but then you'd have sort of a fuzzy water tower shape that would make the lights make sense.
But what if you had invading UFOs?
That would be very confusing, Bokeh.
But you could. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
What?
Is my warmer still plugged in?
I don't know.
Yes.
Oh, yes, the warmer from Alan. Mr. Alan sent us.
The warmer from Alan is plugged in because my coffee was getting cold.
If you didn't have pouncers, could you get the same effect with a brush?
Yes.
Okay, could you show us how to do that?
Yes.
Oh, good. There was lots of questions about
Try
that.
to find a place that my plate will be without breaking.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to talk about some different ways that we can do the bokeh and some things that we can do to make it succeed and some things that we can make it hard. So the first one, if I'm doing a bokeh, I've got here a nice little black pearl, right, by Silver, number 6. It's got a synthetic filament and it is a bright. This is a firm filament, right? Very much lovely, lovely, lovely. And I'm going to want to make a bokeh. In this particular case, they're kind of like a yellow ochre and a little bit of white. So I'm going to pull out a little yellow ochre and a little bit of white. I want them to be quite light.
Little brush.
And I might even do a glaze just so that the paint isn't too thick. And I'm going to plant my brush and twirl, twirl. See, so you can use the brush to make your circle. It can be a little more challenging. And it might not go as quickly, but that doesn't make it, not great. I'm going to add a little more yellow this time. And maybe I will layer my next dot. That would be the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right, see, I'm layering it, and I'm allowing these to be different paint densities. That's super important. All of the dots, whatever they are, however you apply them, need to not be the same opacity.
What is opacity?
How much depth is in the paint.
So like could you say like the transparency or clearness of it?
Yeah, I would say the transparency or clearness needs. So this needs. One of them needs to be more see-through than the other one. Now I'm going to get my little
see-through. There
dot,
you go.
my little sponge. Look, these come in a lot of different kind of things. I just like these. Some tips on these. Don't mash them in. Don't mash them in because they can get stuck up in here. It's really hard to do, but if you're really, really vigorous with it, you can totally do it. Wash them out right after you're done with them.
CPG wants to give you a high five for your awesome hat.
CPG, who also has awesome hats.
You guys are YouTube hat buddies. I just realized that.
We are.
So you guys.
YouTube hat buddies.
So for those of you who don't know who CPG, he's a friend of ours. Chris plays games. He's also one of our moderators. Chris is a YouTube
really
buddy of ours, and
cool channel.
we get together and go YouTube. We just talk YouTube.
And go by his little live shows. You can catch us in his live shows on occasion.
He broadcasts games and does all sorts of wonderful talks about technology and stuff. So anyway,
He does. It's super fun. It's always fun to hear a CPG rant.
Paint.
So he did not come by for a shout out.
No, he did not. He was a hat buddy, and that just happens sometimes.
I kind of want his hat. So there might be like a death match at VidCon.
So go ask him about
All
his
right,
hat.
so I've got my sponge here, and what I'm doing is I'm pulling a little paint out, if you look from the side, and I'm twirling back and forth. Can you see how I press down into the palette paper and twirl? This helps sort of disperse my paint. This sponge is not wet.
Okay,
right?
it's dry?
It's dry, and I'm going to come over here.
So you're dry sponging?
Yep. And I'm going to press in and twirl. If I were to just dab, it would look like that.
It's like a little stampy stamp.
It's like a stamp if I just dab, which looks different than a twirl.
Which makes it look a little like it's been out of focus.
Yeah. The twirls, and the fact that I can let them go, right? And I let the paint kind of be thinner as I'm moving around. See? How that helps it look like what it is. Now, if this were wet, I'm going to get it wet.
Now,
Let me show you what happens if it's wet.
Okay.
Are you zoomed in?
You can look over on the screen and see where I'm at and see it's pretty good, yeah.
Okay. Would it be easier to see it over here?
No, because you just moved away from it.
Okay, I'm just asking where it is.
You're good, right there.
All right, so if I try to do it like this, can you see the bubbles?
Yes.
That's a problem.
See the bubbles.
That's too much water, and this will also happen like it's about to drip too.
It's going to drippy. Oh, you saved it.
Yeah.
Now, what happens if you have a bokeh boo-boo?
If you have a bokeh boo-boo...
What happen? Like, let's say, make that one worse. Let's say make it that one goes bad.
Well,
like,
that was pretty bad, but okay.
When bokeh goes
I'm gonna
bad.
put a lot of glazing medium on here, and I'm gonna be like, see how it's kind of like not what I'm looking for.
Okay, so how will we fix that?
We're gonna let that dry.
Okay.
Like all things in acrylic paint. And notice I'm pressing out this extra moisture and medium.
Let me go over there and
to get it under control. And by the way, guys, we're gonna do a lot of these little projects. So many in the future. So we're gonna keep, enjoying these fun tools. I'm going to take advantage of this because it's here anyways. I'm going to bokeh to the side of it.
I thought you were going to... Okay,
well,
so
I mean...
It's not a boo-boo anymore. You just made it useful.
I can't help it.
Okay, so you're going to have to give us a bokeh
so
boo-boo.
I went in... I did do a bokeh boo-boo.
But you... All right. You fixed them.
I'm going to keep fixing too. There's going to be some extra fixes.
Okay.
So I'm getting a little more yellow as I'm going, and I'm going to put a couple down here.
Okay.
Right? I'm just sort of trying to say, oh, hey, these are the little lights in my neighborhood where I live, and it's so good.
So what if one of the round ones instead? See, like you were able to salvage the roundness of it.
Yes.
But let's say that you put a bokeh right there in the middle of the screen of that, and you just didn't like it there, right? It was like, oh, I put a bokeh someplace where it just was, yeah. It's like, and you decided you just didn't want it there though.
Okay. Messed up bokeh where I don't want it.
Yeah. Is that?
Messed up bokeh where I don't want it.
Yeah, because like why let's say if you decided to put one up in the sky, but it was like, wait a minute, there's no aircraft.
Right.
I don't
Messed up bokeh where I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'll fix both of those
Okay,
as I'm
cool.
going. Don't do these two.
Don't do those two.
These are me to show you how you fix a boo-boo.
Those are boo-boos.
Those are boo-boos. Don't duplicate the boo-boo. So that one's a little more white. I want to make sure though I'm kind of got some yellow in them, so I don't want to get too white. So I'm going to come back. And I'm just pressing, and if I press firmer, right, what I get is more paint dispersal.
Yes.
If I press lighter and twist, I get a lighter little bit of paint. This is still not going to be perfect, and if you want to, you can even get a little blue on there to blend it in. Like I'm doing there, like the blue.
Oh, wow, yeah. Now that sort of brings in some color play from the background.
It does, and it's fun.
And
see, and I'm making sure I can't really go up past here. It wouldn't be believable. There wouldn't be a light above that if you're imagining houses. I'm going to go back and bokeh over this one again. Oh. And then maybe do a little light one here. Try not to get crazy. Like, limit yourself. Like, be like, I'm not going to do more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
so there's
21.
a plan. You
say like there's no more than 30 dots.
Yeah, you only want to, and this is one of those times where less can be more.
Less can be more. You get crazy with the dots, it can ruin a project that you're really loving.
So now you can show them how to take out some dots that we had some
Well,
runaway.
and we also need to, I got to go back and fix this one right here,
okay.
which is now dry enough to fix. And I'm going to take some of that. And I'll have to knock some of these back anyways. Some of them will need a little adjustment, a little attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
I'm going to come get some blue here and kind of give them some attitude adjustments. So once I have an arrangement of these implied lights that I'm going to be dealing with, and I know I've got these to deal with, and I've got to rinse this guy out.
Okay.
Right now. And you know what I don't have, babe?
What don't you have?
A hairdryer, so that's really challenging. But I guess that gives me sippy time.
I'll get you a little hairdryer real quick. I can do that. And you can say there's a couple questions that were wanting to be answered.
Okay, you get the hairdryer and I'll answer some questions. And this is why it's nice to do a live.
Woo!
Sorry.
That was the bad button to push.
What was the bad button?
Sorry for everyone who was wearing headphones. That was a big crinkly pop in the ears of headphone badness. And, I'm going to just... Yeah, sorry, guys. So, okay.
Give me the questions and I will answer them.
The question. Yes. Can you use a foam round stippler or a piece of foam
you can get away with a grape.
or any of those things?
I think you can cut a grape in half and do it. You ever do that with your kids? Make grape prints? I think you could. Back of the erasers, I needed a hairdryer. Back of the eraser is fine, like, those jumbo erasers. You probably have a lot of things that are round that you're just not thinking about that you can make stamping. I mean, this is just essentially stamping. You're just stamping. You might even have an actual stamp. I really like these little sponges. They have a lot of potential, and so I really enjoy them as a tool, and I find them to be whimsical and playful. So I'm sort of embracing them, especially into future projects. But, just overall, be crafty. Right? I think crafty should be synonymous with being intelligent and creative and out of the box, right?
There we go. Okay.
All right. Now I'm going to dry this real quick.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I had adjusted the sound down there because of the crackle, and then while I was making those adjustments, today has been just some gremlins in the show, and I apologize because those gremlins are mine to wrangle, and it's just been kind of a crazy day chasing them. But we're gonna get it worked out. I'm gonna hang in there and gremlin wrangle. So while we're thinking about it, don't forget to post up your pictures. The whole reason that we do this is because we love to see the paintings you guys do. And it's probably one of the most satisfying things that I get to do in the morning is wake up and kind of look through Facebook and look through our website and look through all the comments and just, hear from you guys and see the paintings that you guys do and see how...
See how it goes. I love seeing it.
It's one of the things that makes us so happy. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for being part of our tribe. We appreciate it.
I get so teachery. I'm like...
Okay. So, all right. You go back to the...
So you see how this bokeh and this bokeh kind of throw off the piece a little bit?
I do. Those two bokehs?
Those two bokehs are kind of like, I'm not behaving. You got to be dealt with bokeh. This bokeh needs to be dealt with.
We call them bokehs, but they're not individually bokehs.
No.
The effect is a bokeh.
Yes, right now, the dot. So I've just mixed up some of my background color. I'm going to come paint right over this.
Oh, you're just blasting it right out.
Because I'm using the glazing medium, and this is another power of the glazing medium. Besides just painting something out, I can also, of course, glaze right over something I had before.
Oh, wow. So it's real easy just to...
Yeah, this is a really cool tool. I am not the paint companies, I don't think, and not all of them, but I know this particular paint company is not interested in just making you something to make you something. They really, if they make it, it's because they got a lot of artists asking them for it. Did you know before 1980 that there was like something like one medium and one gel for acrylic paint in anybody's company?
Wow.
I did not know. I had to do a bunch of research on another project, and I learned a lot of things I didn't know.
That's crazy. We'll bring that up there in later episodes. But.
Yeah, it's going to be something like, I don't know the history of acrylic paint, but you can see it might take a couple like layers.
You're just layering that out. So you may need to use your hair dryer to get another
Yeah,
layer
I might need my hair dryer. Like if I were to go.
And don't forget to come out and join us on TheArtSherpa.com, where you guys can come and join us and chat, and you can post up your pictures and things like that. So, why? There you go. See, that's perfect timing.
Yeah, and this is just these up here. This one isn't even so bad anymore. It's just the one up high because there wouldn't be a light.
And actually, I kind of like the bokeh that's faded out into that glaze.
And
that actually
to
turned out to be
to that end, you need to pick some of your bokehs.
Yeah.
And glaze them out.
Really?
Glaze them out.
Just to give them a little more.
Yeah, to
fuzziness.
push them back. I'm actually going to switch to a brush. Let's go to one of my favorites. This is a number 8 Bright by Black Pearl. This is not by Black Pearl, is a Black Pearl by Silver Brush. And I really like this. And I'm just pulling some of my, see how it's just a tint? I'm just using more glazing medium than anything.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that can help you be more successful in your effect, your blended effect. And we're just starting to talk about, this is glaze painting. I get asked about it a lot. See how these start to push back? Now, just a little bit of pigment in the glaze, that's the background color.
Can I ask something here?
You can ask anything you like. Oh, look at that one, pushed back real nice.
Is that called atmospheric perspective?
It is called atmospheric perspective. You remember the Big Art Quest.
I remember the Big Art Quest. So you want to explain why it's called that?
So there's linear perspective. That's how lines converge at the distance on a horizon line to create the illusion of distance. Atmospheric perspective is the way objects gray or blur out or sharper in relationship, or that one is bigger and one is smaller, to show you that things are closer or further away. I'm going to push that little bokeh right there. See how we can push them back?
So by making them a little bit, shaded with that blue, it pushes them back into the background.
It does, and implies that there's some distance and layering. And then it's just a subtle thing, but boy, can it make a difference. Look at that one. Ooh. So if you had a painting that got away from you, that you were like feeling like you had more polka dots than you had, this effect, you could probably go back and revisit it, paint a couple out that don't belong up here, and glaze a few down here, and suddenly take it from something you're really stressed out about to something you're pretty proud of.
Yeah.
I mean, go back and revisit paintings when you've learned a new technique and think to yourself, hey, I can do that. Now I'm going to take my traceable.
Where's your traceable?
Right here. And I'm going to start putting in some light bulbs. I'm going to put them in 3 locations.
Okay.
I changed it from the reference photo, which is in the description, from Paint My Photo, to the 3 because I felt it was a better, more balanced composition.
Ah, okay.
And I'm funny like that. I'm so opinionated.
So how did you prepare your tracing paper there?
Oh, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. I took white chalk pencil to the back and made a rubbing.
So you just put it on a piece of tracing paper.
Rubbed it all on the back. I like white chalk pencil because I'm painting over a dark background. Graphite might be better over a light background. And I need to make sure it's as, vertical, like up and down, as I can.
RoboCam is kind of looking at it a little bit at an angle here. But
okay. I'm going to tape this down so it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to very carefully, with a hard-tipped element, right? You could do a burnisher. I'm doing a jelly pen. Trace the outline of my traceable. And the reason I like using a traceable for this, over freehanding it, and I recommend even if you're freehanding yours in, you make one and then do this with it too, is so all your light bulbs are the same.
Right, so they all look the same.
Because these light bulbs are kind of artisanal, but they shouldn't be that artisanal.
Right.
So I'm just following the basic shape. I don't actually need the center part here. It's just much more important that I have the outer shape of the light bulb. Like you do. And I could even be like, oh, I think I got a line going like that. See how that went? Looks pretty good, right? See the faint tracing? If when you do another one you find that you're not getting to see it as well as you would like, you can always re-rub. This to me is the hardest part, is getting them laid back down and seeing where the heck they are in relationship to each other. I think that's pretty good. Again, I want it to be as up and down as it can be. Move it around. Use a T-square. I have one over here. I don't know why I'm not using it. I'm going to use it to put in the lines. And just trace that one in. This is really going to save you some headache. Also, then, you know how when you see somebody who, you know, does paintings like this and they got 10 of them? They probably have a bunch of these types of things around.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can keep a consistency through their collection. So this is not cheating. This is just something you'd have to do as an artist when you're doing this type of work. Let's see how that went in. It's kind of there, but I feel like I'm losing my graphite, so I'm going to put some more graphite back on. Be like, come on, hang in with me. So I'm refreshing. See me refreshing it?
Yeah. Oh, let me scroll over there so you're just adding some more
Yeah.
white on those lines.
So I can see them before I paint them in. All right, and I'm going to make this one much higher than the other two. I think this is decent placement. Is that decent placement? I think so.
Yeah, I like it.
Wait, I don't need to do that one. I don't like to use a soft tip on the tracings because it doesn't make a good transfer.
So Gail's like,
Hey, Gail.
why is it called steampunk?
Well, that I'm going to let John answer on tracing this in.
Well,
John has a lot of feels on steampunk.
well, no, steampunk is a fashion style, and it's an art. You know, it talks about a genre of aesthetic, and you can steampunk is in the similar genre as like cyberpunk or goth, or you'll find lots of other movements like that, but it's specifically a genre of science fiction that's typically set in historical eras, like the steam era in this particular one, where machinery had advanced to modern technology. So if you took a steam-powered train and brought it into modern technology with computers and all that other kind of cool stuff, how would that be?
And I think if you look at the aesthetic, it most commonly combines a Victorian Nouveau aesthetic
Yeah.
with modern concepts and technologies and seamlessly integrates them, often with an element of alchemy or magic to it as well.
Yeah.
So it's a weird combo of a time distortion aesthetically, a science techno-mage kind of distortion aesthetically. It has developed, it has become so sophisticated now that you would say that this is a chinois steampunk aesthetic. In other words, it goes more to the Chinese Victorian age,
as opposed to gas lamp or
So there's subgenres, and it gets serious. And these artists are next step. First of all, I'm just gonna Sherpa salute
all the
steampunk art
people
community, because they have taken it from what could have been a fad and a fly-by-night thing that was like come and gone, and turned it into a very serious genre of art that will have to be considered for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So kudos to you. That's not a small feat at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what most people kind of think of when they're thinking of steampunk is the coppers and bronzes and glasses and these things and like these light bulbs, this old style light bulb. So I've got my 6 and my 8 here, but I'm going to get a small little brush. This is a number 2. And it is a very happy little brush, and I'm going to get just a smidge on the edge here in my black.
Where are you going to start out over there?
And I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to just very carefully, with the lightest line I can muster, kind of sketch in some of what I have. I don't want to say that this was painted in a cartoon style, because it wasn't. But there are some cartooning elements to how we get these bulbs in.
Mm-hmm.
And starting with a nice little black outline to work back from is super helpful, though everything is skinning from the heat today. We don't put the bulbs in until the end, the little chains that come down.
Oh, yeah, that was the very last thing.
Yeah.
I remember you doing that in the study.
Yeah. And I'm just very carefully, as finely as I can, outlining these bulbs. If you're a new painter, use as small of a brush as you can, right? Small of a brush as you have access to, and paint that really flows off your brush. That's going to be your success tip for getting that sketched in. If your paint is too thick and your brush is too big, it will be very challenging to get a fine line. You can use a detail round, like even this if you need to. See that?
Oh yeah, so real small.
So recognize that it's your tool. Your tool choice here is going to be much more important than your, art talent at any point here. You're going to want to really be able to. And as we're painting these in, it's going to be really nice because we can refine if we need to what we're doing.
Ooh, Alva had a very interesting idea. She was like, could you use a real chain instead of painting it in?
Yes.
That'd be really clever.
You could totally montage. I don't know if I
gears and chains.
Yeah, gears and change. Anything that you want to add, you can embellish. This is something that you can definitely. You want these to be straight up and down as much as you can make them, the lines, the cables, because gravity would pull these down, right? Kind of like a pendulum.
Yes.
So in a sense, these are like little light pendulums.
Even in Pisa, gravity pulls down.
All right. So see how that's really nice? And the traceables have sort of helped me keep a uniformity to my light bulbs. That helps me in this process quite a lot. And a lot of what I'm painting will be done with this small brush. Because this is a lot about highlights and knowing where our light sources are coming from. And just making sure that we take the time to put in highlights. So I've got those sort of sketched in. Doesn't that look nice? You can kind of see them coming in. It's pretty easy. It's not complicated. It's just about knowing the steps, right?
Yeah.
You can do it as long as somebody explains it in a reasonable way. Or they could be like, just feel the light bulbs. That's not as helpful. I'm not saying that you don't need to feel the light bulbs and it's great to go to class and they're like, be the light bulb, and you're blinking on and off in your head trying to be the light bulb, and you're like, yeah, it's still not getting on the canvas though. But I'm blinking in my head if that helps.
So could you explain what is mixed media?
Yeah, mixed media is any time that you take more than one kind of medium referring to what sort of paint you're using or art material. So crayon is a media, acrylic is a media, watercolor is a media, right? Sculpture is a media. When you mix them together outside of their own medium, it's mixed media.
Cool. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. All these terms, sometimes these terms seem so complicated and really they have such super simple origins, don't they?
Yeah.
So I'm taking a little of my black here that I have into my brown paint, making a very deep chocolate color. And I'm going to come paint my cable. And this dark color is my first base.
Ah.
See, it's just very deep. I'm giving my cable just enough width so I can, highlight it later.
Go over there for you.
Just enjoy this. We're going to just enjoy our paint today. It's kind of crazy in the world these days, and having a little break to paint is wonderful. I want to say I really do appreciate all the people like posting nursing koalas.
Yeah.
And just general lovely things has just been so helpful to my well-being. I'm going to paint my whole, I've added just a little more brown to the mix, and I'm going to paint my whole light bulb body for this hanging pendant with this bronze deep brown patina.
Oh, yeah.
Right. If I need water, I dip my brush in water. See how that improves flow? Right. When my paint gets stiff and gummy, as it can do. Now see there what's happening? How it's creeping up my brush?
Oh, yeah.
That is because my paint is stiff and gummy.
Now,
It's like the blob. It just starts to move up your brush. So I have to wipe it off, reload it on the tip, and come over here.
There are so many little brushes with us today.
Hi, little brushes today.
Just so many. I know that I saw Liam here earlier, and Nathina, and I think...
well, this is interesting. So this was something that they were interested in painting, which I would not have expected.
I'm sure Josie's in here, too, somewhere.
Hi, Josie.
And so, About how big are those bulbs here, real quick? Just relative to the canvas. How big would you say those are?
Well, we could look at it in relationship and say the canvas is an 11 by 14.
Let's say about a third.
Right. So this is about 2 inches wide. And the total bulb mechanism is 4 3/4 inches long.
Yeah. So cool. Thanks.
If that's helpful.
Yeah, that way if they're scaling for different size canvases.
Yeah.
That helps.
If you're really scaling for different size canvases and you're not going to just do it in the computer in your software, I would say grid it out.
I think that there's Little Brush Elizabeth and Tiffany.
Hi, Elizabeth and Tiffany.
So many little brushes. We love having you guys with us.
We do love having you guys here, and so glad that this stream is working today. And yes, Celestial Moon is coming back really soon. It'll probably be up on demand pretty soon. We just have to keep up with our film schedule, which has been extra rough this week because of just construction and family stuff.
Yeah, we just got all of our live streaming equipment back up this morning. As you can see, it was kind of...
and it was going on hours before y'all knew about it.
We were panicking this morning to get it going. It was Elizabeth Norfolk. She's like, I'm not a little brush. Well, you are a little brush in our heart. Love you, Elizabeth.
B. Sorry.
But to all the little brushes out there, thank you guys. We love painting with you, and for our big brushes too. We love painting with you.
Everybody who comes by, we love working with.
Yes.
So now that we have our dark colors in, right? So we have this sort of mid cone. We can see that in, right? The next thing that we can do, I'm gonna rinse out my brush. Rinse it out. I'm gonna do an interesting thing. I'm gonna take a little of my red. Over to my brown.
So they would like to know if they...
And I'm going to add a little yellow to it, Mr. Cooney.
All right, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. Then there's a very important question coming.
All right, let me get through this, and then we'll do a very important question. Now, here we've got one I won't let you forget. I'm going to come underneath all these with it is cad red, burnt sienna, and a little cad yellow. Makes this kind of like... This used to be my favorite color. I used to want a car in this color, burnt orange. We're making this glowing, deep burnt orange. I'm going to get a little of my glazing medium. On this one, it's because it's just drying out on me. And to right above the little dot here, I leave like about a finger from the end of your bulb. Just also do this filament. This is the filament coming down.
The filament
so
holder.
See, we've got this little sort of Lego square block, and then we're going to do this little filament coming down.
Well, that's the little holder of the filament.
Yes, it is the little holder. It's the little holder that could.
Yeah.
Little sweet. Sorry, don't come for me, Dr. Pepper. Don't come for me. Doing the same thing. I'm just trying to leave about a finger down there. Okay. Yeah. All right. Important question, Mr. Cooney, before I get to the next point.
Okay. So they would like to know, the community at large, and I think I'm not sure who this came from first.
Okay.
But there were several requests. If they hit the like button, would you do more steampunk stuff? And they actually wanted to know this. They would like more steampunk. And
can some of it be on Facebook? So that we can go for like 4 hours? Because the issue with the steampunk is that mostly to do it the way y'all want to do it, it's time intensive.
Ooh.
So what I'd like to do if we were to do more steampunk is to create simple projects here. To help people who are really excited about it but maybe don't have all of their art skills quite yet together for it, to get to join our group in this excitement about steampunk. But then also maybe throw down some long broadcasts like on a format like Facebook, so we can like add tentacles, really patina things out. And y'all have to put up with some short mini quests on like how to paint faux copper, how to paint faux denim, how to paint effects.
They seem to be very much okay with this.
Okay.
They think this is a good plan.
All right.
So okay.
Okay.
We'll
Only if I get to be on that sci-fi original show where we like steampunk it out against other people. I don't really want to do that. Why would you do that to your art practice? You have 3 days for absolutely no reason in an arbitrary fashion. Like, I'm sure all these people are brilliant in a 2-week time frame, but 3 days is crazy. They're like hot gluing things as fast as they can.
So Kristen says multicast it on Twitch because sometimes she has trouble with Facebook. So maybe we'll do
that. Done.
Okay.
Because Twitch also is really great about that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jody was like, yes.
Okay.
So everyone is very much in for. Okay, so that's happening.
I'm going to go ahead and take this CAD over to my burnt again.
Okay.
See what I'm doing? Really oranging it up and grabbing a little of my yellow and getting back into that, which just seems so brown on the palette until you take it over here, and then all of a sudden I'm going to add some glazing liquid to it because I want to blend it kind of. And I'm going to just make a light glaze coming up. See how light that glaze is? Up the center of my... I don't want too much pigment. If you don't have glazing medium, try to make it like a dry brush. You want the pigment to show through underneath. Now I have too much there. See, it's just a balancing act, isn't it? When you have too much, wipe off your brush and keep wiping. See how I'm doing?
I'm going to zoom in on that so I can get really close to see.
So whenever I get too much of something, like
you're kind of mopping it up.
I mop it up. I go, no, 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 no. I want some of you, just not all of you.
You like erased it.
I erased it. That's another way of erasing.
Oh, could you push that palette paper over just a touch? I'm sorry. It's there you go. Thanks.
Okay. So I'm going to come here. I've got my eraser just in case.
I can't. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, and I'm just doing this light glaze up the center of this. Right? And then go ahead, not glazed, mix up just a little bit more. See, I'm just doing it a small bit at a time. Right? The brown. Wiping off my brush, loading up the little edge here. Let's work some of our the center of our cable. This is a fine line allowing the dark to peer out, doesn't it? Highlights are important when we're painting. I've got this fun, nice little color, and I'm going to, on the bulb here, come very lightly. This is a light dust. You're going to find a lot of this is about a light touch. C right there, or backwards C. I guess make a, and then you figure out, oh, she's dyslexic. Yeah, C. All right, we're going to add a little bit here. Maybe go dab, 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 and then take it down like a colon. Come over here, dab, 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 take it down like a colon.
Oh.
Pull this one up a little bit and around. Okay? There's going to be a lot of layers here, but we're going to want this sort of worked here for later. That's going to matter so much to us. So much to you. It's going to matter. Now we're going to darken. The bottom of all these bulbs need to be darkened.
Why is that?
Because they have shadow.
They have a shadow bulb?
Yeah, it's because of the way the light comes off of it, it creates that cast shadow. There's math to that. I'm not good at that math, but I know it has to be there, so I paint it. So I've used my burnt sienna and my phthalo blue to make my chromatic, not black, but it's a pretty dark color. And I'm going to come to the bottom of the bulb. All right, look at that. Just cast it right down into the tip there.
And just sort of darkens
round. That. And the fact that it's blue and it's a little glazed lets it feel like, you know, it's part of that. And then right underneath this, I'm going to come out with about 1/8 of an inch of a shadow right there. Just give those shadows. Everything in glass, you're not painting the glass. You're painting the reflections on the glass. Never painted glass ever in your life. You're painting lights and shadows. You're only painting the things that you could actually see. I'm coming around the outside edge with this. And you'll notice I'm loving my glazing medium. Loving it. You don't have it, dry brush.
So how many hoots would you say this is? Tanya asks.
I'd say this is a 2-hoot painting.
And Zombie Juice, we do have an awful lot of mods in here. There are so many gods here that help us out, and we really appreciate them because, I mean...
We are guarded like Fort Knox, aren't we? No one shall come disturb the art zen that we have forged here on YouTube.
We work really hard to make this a place that's fun for all of our community to come and hang out, and we really respect each other's space and try to make sure that this is a pleasant place to come talk about our painting experiences together. So yeah, we appreciate them. Deeply,
and unlike
deeply
gaming, where that kind of that kind of crazy back and forth is almost additive, in art it can be really stressful for people.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, not here. It's not that it's not appropriate somewhere else. It can be fun elsewhere.
Yeah.
Just not here.
Just not here.
That's nice. So you see how I've just now kind of shaped this glass?
Mm-hmm.
This glass has some shape now that I can play with. I'm adding a little more shadow. I'm just playing with it. So glazing. Glazing.
Glazing.
Glazing. Super fun to do. Not particularly complicated. Now we have this cool shadow. It just makes it feel like it's, you know, part of the world. Are we done? Probably not. Lots to do. I might come get some just pure phthalo, because that's pretty powerful in this space now. And next to this, add a little bit of pure phthalo into the left-hand side, curling around on the shadow. Can you see how it's adding down?
Mm-hmm.
On the bottom here, I might curl another little of that phthalo. Maybe I'll curl some of it right here and come around, and just a little bit. Right? Adding these little reflections, these little moments in the painting. Go down here. Take this down here. Maybe come up on the inside of the orange here. So what we're really talking about is there's light casting out. There's another source of light off the canvas that we don't see. There's light coming from behind. These are see-through, and so we are painting some seriously crazy multi-directional light sources. If you were trying to skin a game right now, your brain would be exploding.
Yeah.
Actually, anytime you're in a game and you see a well-lit game, I just want you to just send light and love to whoever did the lighting. I know everyone's like the skin guys and the graphic guys,
they all
the
come
lighting
together.
guys.
They all come together. It's a team.
I just
but
love
I mean,
the lighting guys.
there's
It's the make or break.
a well-lit game does make a 3D games.
Yeah.
We came from the game industry, guys, so that's why sometimes you'll hear us just go talk about gaming stuff.
Gaming. I'm going to take a little of my black over to my blue. This makes a nice steel gray. All right, see this here? How it's kind of blue? But it's black, but it's blue. This is important.
Important.
It is important. And I'm going to darken my little knob here, and just this side, I'm going to pull it over about 1/8 of an inch. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Making the shadows. Yes, I am. If you need more glaze, get more glaze. It's important to me that it's blue. And I might come on this right side and darken this side of the cord.
Now, what type of palette paper are you using?
Strathmore acrylic palette paper.
Okay.
But even though this is going to be like a... Uh-oh.
What's that?
I didn't boo-boo.
What'd you do?
I have to change the knob from the left side to the right side.
Whoops.
So first, I'm going to do that on both of these, using it as a guide.
Uh-oh, you made a little boo-boo there.
I did. It happens. It happens. And now I'm going to paint that down. This is why it's cool and never insulted when people want to fast forward, but it is why sometimes it's a bad idea. So I'm just adding the shadow now on the right-hand side of these. And what I'll do is I'll fix that boo-boo right there. Because, you know, they happen in painting. They just do. They just happen in painting. I'm going to bring the shadow to the left, curving it up. When that's dry, I'm going to paint it away like it never happened. And this is true if any of these shapes are getting away from you, right? Like they can, like they sometimes do. If they're ever getting away from you and you're not happy with how it's going, you can just paint them away.
Oh, wow, just
right?
Yeah.
I'm just doing that. And because, again, glazing makes it so easy to do.
Just a couple layers. And
yeah, just a couple layers and I will be free. Free. Doesn't take a lot.
Now, if this is your first time painting with us or joining us here on the live show,
we don't usually have boo-boos. No, we do.
You can find a lot more of us on our regular channel, TheArtSherpa, over there on YouTube, and you can go to TheArtSherpa.com and join our live community over there. We have live chat, we have forums, and you can upload your pictures there and share them with them. And
I'm just pushing that all away, making it go bye-bye. I'm gonna get a little of my brown and come back and define this edge. Look at that.
Wow. Oh,
It's like
yeah.
it never happened.
Just-
You've never been bad. You didn't do it. Come over here. Define this edge again.
come back
See?
up there. Oh, no.
Defining it.
I'm coming.
Just grab my brown. It's like that little bobble never happened. You can't stress about that stuff because it never happened.
Yeah.
What you don't volunteer to your friends, they don't know you did. Don't be like, and I messed up these 7 places on my painting. Don't do that. I'm going to put out some, I think I'm going to put out some fluid white because my other white, everything's skinning. It's very hot and dry in my studio today.
It is. I can see it on the canvas.
So
almost
this is still titanium white. It's just a more fluid body paint. And I'm going to load up my brush.
Okay.
And I'm going to come and create a little highlight kind of going around my bulbs on the outside. Just along where I have the black line. And I kind of want the black line to peek out on the inside. And this is a very delicate little job. And I can add a little here. Just a little bit. Just kind of trying to define these spaces. And wherever we need to do it, we just do that, right? And I'm gonna do a little more of that around here as well. I will be back with the white again in a second, but I just want to work my thought process on that.
Yeah.
Maybe come on the inside of this. See, I did on the inside. Isn't that nice? Doesn't that feel glass-like? It's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm just helping some of this find its space. On the outside of the black line. Maybe a little bit here. Okay, now I got to work some more reflections inside, and then I got to put my filaments. So I'm going to get my yellow and my red, like you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to come here and I'm going to create some little there. I'm going to make sure I come right here. And maybe just a little glow right here. Do a little glow. Scrambling it there. Isn't that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's fun. I don't know. It's fun for me. See, I'm just pushing this around on my brush here. Just relaxing into that. If you'll notice, one of the things that I'm doing a lot is I'm following the curves of my space.
What do you mean?
The bulb is curved, so my shapes tend to kind of curve with it.
Oh.
If y'all have not noticed that happening.
So you're using that to like imply the shape of the light bulb?
You imply the shape of the light bulb.
Gotcha.
So I'm just trying to get back into my little orange glowy thing here. And I'll work some of this as well. Maybe one right here. These are much brighter. We might come with another one.
Mm-hmm.
Just push this around. And we're going to just push this around. Do the same thing here. We're going to get this and just push this around. Push this around. See how these are not even the same height right here? I got this one wiggle, wiggle, wiggle out, curve it around, but I drop down about 1/4 inch and wiggle around to the left. And then I'm going to definitely dust a little of this yellow that I have at the bottom of this bulb. Mm-hmm. But without rinsing, I'm going to get some brown. I am. I'm going to come in, I'm going to add a little of this brown down here. And maybe a little around the bulb as well.
Just some reflected.
Yeah, because it would be there a little bit down here. They would reflect off each other. They would be sharing that.
Well, there'd be one reflection on the near side and then an opposite on the other.
There would be. There would be. And that way you can just sort of be like, all right, here's the things that I have to say, and the rest of it is just a fun sort of also ran. So now, I need a little highlight. I'm going to come and get this blue and black mix that I've got, and I'm going to add a little white to it. See that?
Yeah.
So it's much lighter than stuff that's going on in my bulb elsewhere. And I'm going to come right here at this highlighted corner. And I'm going to say that there's just a little reflection right there. And I'm going to add a little bit there. And maybe it's got a little friend here. Little friend right over here on the right hand side. Oh, this is a beautiful bit of glass reflection and then carry down a curve line. curve line. Aren't those nice?
Oh, yeah. That adds a lot of reflection.
Yeah, we have lots. Oh, that got a little light. So I don't want it too light because I want my whites to really pop because of the way the lighting is in this piece. So I'm doing that same thing right here.
Now, do you have
glass?
Do you have any tips for drawing in real thin lines using that brush?
Really seriously, my biggest tip is that this brush has a beautiful firm filament that's well engineered to a very sharp edge. Right? This Black Pearl has a very, very, very sharp detailed edge. Here. So I've got fluid black paint here. Right? That's the fluidity of my paint. That means how nicely it's going to flow off my brush. And I have this very, very nicely engineered brush. And if I rest my wrist and don't press very hard, I can get a very, very fine knife edge line. If I press real hard, it's going to get real thick.
Real thick.
And if I had thick paint, let's get this black, let's say I had paint on like that was this thick. I couldn't, it would be very hard even, well actually I can still do it with this brush. This brush is making this easier than it should. It should be impossible to do this. But you can see it does make it harder. Nope, the brush is too good. Let me find a not good brush. Do I have
Nope, you don't have any not good brushes.
I don't have any not good brushes. But if you had a very inexpensive brush that wasn't engineered very well, this line could get real thick on you and you'd be like, I can't get the bulb, and it would look like that.
And the reason for that is that the tips of the bristles, the tips of the filaments can just buckle under the weight of the heavy body paints.
Sometimes they're just put together like blocks and they're not tapered out.
Yeah.
There's a tremendous amount. Brush makers are a special breed.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Okay.
Okay. Does that help?
That does help. That does help.
I am looking for my blue.
So we're just, put some more highlights in there.
I am. We're almost done.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Yeah. I always get so sad when we're almost done because I love my time with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, I'm going to get a little of my black over to my blue.
Maudie just wanted to make sure that she knew that was a Simply Simmons number.
No,
this is
sorry. This
Silver.
is a number 2 by Silver Brush Company, Black Pearl. The brush guys are supposed to be updating my teacher page, but they carry all of these.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a 6402 bright. These are listed exactly as they are in the description.
Right.
So you guys can find them easy, and you can get them from the brush guys. There's a discount code, TheArtSherpa or TheArtSherpa, and that's 5% off your entire order. The Bristlons, the Black Pearls are all there right now.
Cool.
And they're great.
And yeah, just ask them. They have all the brushes that we use on the show. So
they do, and they know.
Don't worry. If
even the first one I brushed it in with, they totally know what these guys are.
Yeah, and
they're called Sweet Deal because they're really inexpensive.
So
they're like crazy inexpensive.
So sorry about that. Didn't mean to distract you there.
Sorry.
So you're just layering in a little bit of blue.
I'm just layering in this little blue glass kind of reflection in here, and maybe I'll put one right here. All right, I'm going to come and add some. Let's pull some down here. There could be one right there. There's definitely got to be one up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing. Let's pull some down. We could come right here. All right, isn't that fun?
That is.
Now, if this line got away from you, and I feel like that line got away from me a little bit, I can come back with my background color, very dark, and round out the bulb. Look at that.
Oh, you just added a little. You just used those lines just to apply the depth and just reshaped it.
I can reshape it really easily.
Oh wow, that's
I'm going to do that over here real quick. It's super easy to do. So this is a place to not get stressed out. It's a place to just be calm and be like, yeah, I got this. Look at that.
You just just.
Now I've got the dark down here and all that. Now I've got to do a couple highlights. Rinse, 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 rinse. First one that I want to do is I want to do this sort of like crazy, like energetic orange. So I'm going to take a little of my yellow, not tinted with black, because that would ruin the color mix. And if you're having a really terrible time getting bright colors, check the dirtiness of your water. A lot of times that is what is messing you up. And I'm going to make some really bright kind of hot little squiggles. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Aren't those like intense?
Yeah.
And I'm going to These are about these weird little coils that are happening in here. All right. And then I'm gonna have to switch to a detail brush. A detail brush. And I may have to, in this instance, put out a little yellow towards my white fluid paint, mostly because this is, look at this. See this here? I can touch it and not get any paint on me. The surface of my paint is starting to skin.
Oh.
And that is about the conditions in my studio, not this paint.
Yeah, and that's
Paint has tons of engineering in it to not do this stuff, but I am in an easy bake oven.
Yeah. And we have so many lights going on in here.
So many lights going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I want to get a nice little detail. There's a nice little detail, right? So here's a nice little detail brush. And I'm going to come and just take the yellow and the white and roll them together. So now I've got a nice small brush and a fluid paint. And I'm going to do a cool thing. I'm going to make circles about the size of a dime. I'm going to go around with fine lines, making little circles.
Why are you making circles?
That's the filaments. They're glowing.
Right, the little part that makes the light inside.
Yeah, and then I'm going to glow a little filament up. And glow a little filament up. I'm going to do it right here, about the same thing. Little circles. The finer your brush is, the better this will work.
Mmm.
Little filament up, little filament up.
Now, is that detail that you have right there, is that on the list?
That is on the list. This is
Okay.
a 3/0 Sterling Studio. These are all on the list.
Okay.
I made sure. Because we were having some trouble having other brushes to be in, and now new stuff has happened.
Oh, Megan was asking, what construction are we doing? Oh, the city of Humble is replacing water mains and gas mains, and we're getting
just all the mains that we need
new
to be in a house.
streets, new sewer. They've really gone through and updated a lot of the city of Humble is very active and great place to live. They're doing lots of renovations,
Lots of work.
keeping the city up to date. So
I'm going to take a little white on the tip of this brush and then make a little reflection here. Maybe a nice little one there. And 2 little dabs there. That's at the tip of the bulb. I'm also going to add some here. I'm going to come at the top of this blue and make a little dab. See that? That little bright light reflection? I can come down underneath this blue and add that. I feel like that's what really works it for me.
gotcha.
For me, that's when I get super excited, is when I'm adding these little guys right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I like them to be a little calligraphy-like. Don't get crazy. If you did a bunch of them, you would lose it. Less is more here. Like, and this one, walk in my steps, Padawans. Walk in my steps, and you will get the result. Walk in my steps, and you will be what you need to be. Happy as a clam. I'm going to start singing Pete's Dragon if this goes on. All right, so now that I've got that in, all I need to do is start making some highlights up on the barrels here to start defining their space.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, let me get some of this yellow out here. This is the bright orange, right, that we had earlier. This is going to help it feel like, definitely like, we're going to dry brush a little bit on this side. See how that's just such a dry brush?
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to come across here and make the highlight of that part. And one up here, and then across. See how that's just a little bit of lighting, little bit of highlighting. Let's do a little line right here, and then maybe 1/4 inch above, hash down. There we go. That's into our dark highlight. Pop this right there. That one across. I think Twix is chewing on my cable. Just letting you know, I feel the puppy chewing on my cable. Just saying, before we lose the sound.
Uh-oh. I will go get Twix.
Yeah, I'm like, she's really chewing on my cable. Okay, so we're just coming across the top here. You're so cute. She doesn't like that. Okay. 2 little dabs. She's my studio friend, and I love her. All right, so we got here, maybe on the outside edge there. Look at that. We come on like popping those things out. Popping them out. Pop them out. Right? Pop them out. Now, get a little white on your brush and just come with all that color right up the middle super softly. I try not to make a completely connected line. I actually let some of those highlights be stronger in reflection and then vanish. Not only does this help me keep a finer line, I feel, but it creates a particular type of cool reflection. I'm gonna do a little bit of this bright highlight out here, maybe a little on the inside here, because this light's reflecting here, right?
Oh yeah.
And then
well, you're just jumping over.
The next light is the next highlight.
Like
it's gonna be right here, and then we have to do the chain.
Oh yeah.
The chain.
The chain is very interesting. I liked how you did the chain.
You like how I did the chain?
Yeah. No.
I gotta. Where's my dotting tool? Oh, there it is. So I got this dotting tool.
Let me go. Hold on. Stay right there. Let me get to your dotting tool. Oh, go back to it. Show me again. What is a dotting tool? So my chain's going to be these two tools. Oh.
My dotting tool and this charcoal. Because the charcoal, I'm going to sit there and draw my little chain off to be my guide. I like it to touch the bulb and go a little bit past the tip here. You bring it out here. It cascades down. And just a little bit past. See? About an inch past.
Yeah.
This is important, I think, in the design and element of the painting, what makes it enjoyable. All right, so there they are. You're literally almost done, and you have painted some really complicated light bulbs, haven't you?
Yeah, those are really complicated light bulbs.
So I'm just gonna use my fluid black because that's gonna be the easiest to use right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to very carefully make a row of dots like a chain ball pull.
Huh.
Right.
You just use fluid black there?
I'm going to just use the fluid black and then come back with a highlight to help it blend in.
Mm-hmm.
You could use, if you had fluid, burnt sienna and black, you could mix them together. I'm going to be re-dipping often.
Yeah. Well, rather than giving everybody camera nausea, we're just going to let them.
Yeah.
We're going to stay up
here. Just know, anytime I go to the palette, all I'm getting is black.
Just get a, yeah.
And at the bottom of this, I'll paint a little bell, and that one I will make burnt sienna and black, but the chain doesn't have to be.
Gotcha.
So you don't have to kill yourself trying to make heavy body paint, fluid paint. More important that you're going to hit it with like highlights than anything else. But you can see how this chain just starts to come together. If you didn't have a nail tool, what could you could use a toothpick. You could use cut the head off of a Q-tip and use the stick of the Q-tip.
Now, is there going to be a traceable for this? Do you have a traceable?
Yeah, did we said sometimes you ask me things we said earlier that I'm like, wait, did we talk about that?
I think so, but you know what? I do so many of these shows that I oftentimes forget whether or not we have the traceable done. So sometimes I'm asking because I need to know, and sometimes I'm asking because the community needs to know.
Okay.
So,
yes, we have a traceable because we traced it on.
So but it's
also,
available.
Also, you freak me out if I haven't been sleeping because I'm like, I feel like we traced this on together. So I have this memory, but maybe I'm just sleepy.
But I'm just saying, before the show, did you get the traceable up for everyone?
Traceable is up and out and everywhere.
Okay, cool. Good.
You can get to it from the website. You can get to it from Facebook.
You can go to TheArtSherpa.com, and as soon as you log in, there'll be a window in the lower right-hand corner that has a link to all of our traceables.
You do got to log in.
You do log in, but it's free to create an account, and then you'll find that there'll be a chat. There's a place to chat, our forums in there. There's links to our store where you can find all of our goodies and stuff like that. So
worth going.
It's definitely worth signing up for.
Now I'm definitely going to have to hair dry this to make sure I can put the highlights on there.
Now, if you don't have a dotting tool, you could always use the back of your brush, right?
You could always use the back of your brush.
Just in a pinch.
Toothpick, the cutoff Q-tip that I just talked about.
Oh, yeah. Whoop.
Whatever you need to do to make a little dot. Tip of a pencil.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Kind of a rounded pencil.
Yeah, just if it's not, it just needs to not be sharp. And you could come back and make the highlight with a sharp pencil. Just use the tools you have. It's, you know, painting can be applied with your fingers. If you're using, you should use gloves.
Yes.
It can be applied. There's one guy that does beautiful paintings with bubble wrap and syringes. Just saying. Don't feel confined by your tools. Don't feel left out by the tools that you have.
Yeah.
I'm loving these bulbs. Every time I do these, they're a little different, but I love them.
I felt that you were going to go reach for other paint, so I went over and looked. You didn't. You resisted.
Oh, don't do this to them. Don't go back and forth.
I don't always, but I just, that one time I did, I was like...
No, I'll tell you when I'm going to reach for other paint.
I felt there was a disturbance in the buttons that I felt.
There was a disturbance in the buttons. I'll tell you the big thing here is that I rest my wrist on the canvas and paint is wet. And that's my biggest issue.
Your biggest issue?
Mine, yeah. Everybody has a different issue. That's mine. Dragging paint around on my wrist. Not going to do that today, though. All right, so I have my little things.
And you said we're going to highlight these guys a little bit?
Well, we got to paint a bell first, and then we're going to highlight them.
What's it? What do you mean by a paint a bell?
Well, the bottom of the little pool has a little bell shape.
Oh, those little
So I'm going to get a teeny tiny little brush. This one right here.
Okay.
Also on the website.
That was, wait, what was a number 2 what?
Oh, sorry.
You're
This
just
is a number 2 bright, but this is
Okay.
a short handle detail bright.
So it's a number 2 bright.
Yep, but it's smaller than, here's another number 2 bright. It's just a little bit smaller. See, even though they're both number 2s, they're not the same size.
Oh, interesting. That's good to know. Okay.
And I really like these brushes because they're available globally.
Yes.
Around the world.
Yeah, you're likely to find lots of retailers that
Yeah.
carry these.
And if yours doesn't, you can be like, hey! And they can.
Just ask them, and they probably can get them.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things. That's, so,
All right, so we're going to make a little ball. And this we did mix the brown and the black. And we're going to just make a little kind of bell shape coming down. See that?
Oh,
It's our
yeah.
little pool. And then I do bother to make brown and black, so it's like the rest of the metallic print that we've got going on.
Ooh, we're down here
Do another one here. It's fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Fun stuff, fun stuff. And then I'm going to have to hair dry.
So Danny would like to know what the difference between a bright and a flat is.
A flat is just longer. That's all it is that, so this is a number 10 flat. And sometimes it's a little bit smaller too.
Yeah.
See? The way the bristles are done?
So a bright has firmer
No, brights don't necessarily have firmer. You can have really soft brights. It's about the length of the bristles. Flats are long. Flats are wonderful for soft blending on soft body paints or watercolors. Or if you're blending into blending from a dry brush. There's some cool stuff I can show you. It's a tool like a filbert. It does a really cool thing. And if you like that thing, they're fun to use.
Cool.
But I like to push some heavy body paint around, so I need a bright because it's got the muscle for me I need.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Some spinach. Drink my not cold coffee because
yeah, and we're almost done. So we'll say don't forget to check out things at TheArtSherpa.com. We've had a huge crowd here. Oh, wow. We've had over 420, 430, 40 people here pretty much the entire time. So gosh, thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us today. Don't forget, you can find all of our crew. The tribe hangs out at TheArtSherpa.com in the chat there after and before the show. A bunch of Sherpettes play World of Warcraft, and you can even find us out there. We've been really slammed here, but the last month or so. But Cinnamon and I get out and play on World of Warcraft on the E-Trig server. We're the Horde faction, and you can find our guild, the Sherpettes, out there. If you go to our lovely store, which is shop.theartsherpa.com, I don't think I have a graphic ready for it, unfortunately. But you can go out to shop.theartsherpa.com and you can find all of our shirts and hats. And I think that over here, yep. See that art game up there in the corner? You can find that out there on the site as well. Let's see here. I'm gonna go over and chat and see if there's anything else that I'm forgetting. Yeah, it's oh, everyone's like, yes, come play. We are definitely going to be getting out there. We've got a bunch of stuff that's, we're just about to announce out here. So, yeah, as you guys have been seeing, we've got lots of things that have been in the work, which have been keeping us busy.
Lots of things.
So tell us what you got there. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I always forget to do the social things.
Subscribe. Hit that bell, too, because they don't tell you nothing unless you hit the bell.
And definitely share us. Share us on all of your stations, and don't forget
You're still here.
all the social places. Do all the social things.
Do the social.
The social.
Love to see everything on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and the website and Pinterest. I have loaded up this brush.
You have.
And it has a nice orange on it. So I've just taken my cadmium red and my cad yellow, and I made a nice bright orange because that's been my reflection color, right?
Yes.
And I'm going to do the fun and yet very technical job of coming. Now, on this chain, it's on the inside left side. On this chain, it's on the inside left side. And on this chain, it's going to be on the inside right side. And I'm going to just take this detail brush and very carefully on my, what are you doing? Just to the inside of my dots, which I tell you is straining my eyes. It does, it strains them. A little bulb of light. See? Just taking it. And when you come on the inside of the bell, you just do the inside of the bell, a little reflection there. Just a little detail brush. If it gets away from you, you can always dab back your black dots. They dab back pretty easily. Just dusting them with, on the inside left side, a little bit of this orange highlight.
Now,
this helps it now not feel like it's not integrated into the painting.
Now, as soon as we get done here, I'm gonna come out there and I'm gonna give you a big hug and a kiss.
Oh, I'd like that. I feel like I earned a kiss. I feel like I did a good job today.
And I want to give a big hug and a kiss to our audience as well, because we've been at Double Sherpa for a long time.
No way.
And it's like double Sherpa.
Double?
Because we've had over 400 likes and 400 people, and it's just been,
I think you need to come out and dance a little bit.
I would do the disco if I knew how.
Disco?
Yeah, I would do that whole thing. I just don't know how. So you'll get some stunt handsry.
Actually, it's so funny because John and I took ballroom dance together at college.
So we kind of do know how to do.
We barely passed that class. It was so bad. It was like our most stressful class. We were so not coordinated. And of course, like all the dance majors were in there because was their easy A. So we were just like that super awkward couple, but luckily people adopted us and didn't mock us too badly.
It was awesome. They loved us.
Yeah.
So you have to sign this? You just have to let us sign this. You can't not sign.
I have to sign it. So I like to do interesting things when I sign. And I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to use my brush this time. I've shown you guys paint pens. I'm going to use my brush with the fluid paint. Load it on the tip here. And I like to sign in a way that it integrates into the painting. If you sign with the media you paint it with, it makes it easier to verify, I guess, after you're dead, if you think that will be important.
Now, why didn't you use a white highlight on those chains instead of the yellow? Because
we didn't use a white highlight on the metal.
Oh, well, you did there a little bit in the bulb, though.
In the bulb, because it's glass.
Ah, so it's going to have a higher sheen reflection.
This has to be the same highlights if you want them to feel like they're made of the same stuff. We all lie in here. There's not real bulbs. This is all flat.
This is all just pretend.
It's flat. We liars. We're creatively pretty liars. Do you love this? Are you having fun? I hope you're having a good time. Oh. Really? Is that the move? I don't know. I'm gonna let you do your thing. I'm gonna just.
I don't have any moves. I get the button.
All right, everyone, do the stunt hands.
I don't even know my stunt hands.
We're gonna get mocked by Willem, and it's gonna be your fault.
Thank you guys for coming and being here.
Thank you.
It's probably, I don't even know where to look at.
And yes, more steampunk.
Thank you for coming and being
It's
here.
right there. They're there. That's where
that
they're.
one?
No, that's where they live. That's where they live. They live in there, and you look really as far into there as you can, and then you find your best friend and you say hi. How are you guys doing? Dean, you're an artist. It's all done now. You don't even have to worry about it anymore. You're totally an artist.
Is it totally artist?
We got a live out. Don't worry, Celestial Moon will be up on a VOD in under 14 days.
Someday.
We're just getting stuff in. Keep on painting. Keep on sending those beer mugs. I can't wait to see your bulbs. I hope you'll share them with me. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Remember to use kind words when you're talking to yourself about art. And I want to see you at the easel really soon.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.